I'm currently working on the third Santa polystyrene drawing. In particular, I'm currently working on this sleeve of his suit. Since I'm pretty much all finished with the front, it's currently around 10:10 p.m. And not too long ago, I helped my dad with the final day of preparing the spare room. This is what the spare room currently looks like. I picked up all of this stuff that used to be right under the bottom bunk of the bunk bed, and then I helped my dad carry the disassembled wooden parts that made up the bottom bunk of the bunk bed. I picked up all of the stuff, including my old SpongeBob blanket that I hadn't used in months. Instead of using the Spider-Man blanket because the old SpongeBob blanket had developed a tear somewhere, and I didn't want to expand it by continuing to use it. It, along with a sort of yarn fabric blanket with a bunch of holes throughout its surface, and these holes were big enough that you could put each one of your fingers through them. Any one of your fingers through it. Both of those blankets went into that large cardboard box Dad has been using as a sort of garbage can throughout this whole process. I made a few trips carrying the cardboard box down a flight of stairs, and then walking over to the dumpster that was pretty much right next to our building, and dumping the contents of the cardboard box into the dumpster. And then I did the same when Dad and I made trips to throw away the wooden pieces of the bottom bunk. Then Dad did some vacuuming, sucking up dust. And lint. I then helped hold open just the immediate door to the apartment unit we'll be moving out of soon. The door to that to help my dad put furniture like a dresser from the spare room into the trunk of his car. Later, I was helping my dad with some forms. When I had the third Santa Claus polystyrene drawing here, and he accidentally sat on it. I thought that it would split in half, and at some point it would have to be glued back together. Which is what I did when that ring shaped a piece of polystyrene broke apart while I tried to suspend it off of a sort of wooden hanger I think I made in my freshman high school tech class years ago. But no, luckily, it only got a bit cracked here. And from a distance, it's not really that noticeable. I just have to be more careful from here on out. Throughout the day, I tried to work on the 99th Dan Hamming episode. By looking for a singing text-to-speech sensitizer. In the morning, I tried essentially searching singing TTS and whatnot. on YouTube. But all of the singing, there were singing text-to-speech, singing effects for text-to-speech voices. But they all required me to either download an app on my phone, which I wasn't really interested in doing. During the first hours of today, there was this new system update for my Android phone that I decided to install right away. And I noticed that it changed up the interface of the calculator app. And it still works perfectly fine, but it got rid of that option where I could completely clear my calculations if I held down the delete key. And it changed up the interface to one that's more complicated. And now all of the functions are all under a sort of circle. I didn't really feel like there was any need to change up the calculator app. But also, this new update installed a couple games on my phone. Technically 2 puzzle games, but I already have games I at one point wanted to install on my phone. The first game was Blocks. It's a very simple game where you have to strategically place different shaped combinations of blocks onto a grid and then clear rows and columns by filling them with blocks. All in order to earn points. It's pretty good. And then the other game was Royal Match. Which has the same mechanics as Candy Crush. A game I either never played or only briefly played as a Facebook game. I believe the latter guess is correct. Yeah, but that was years ago. The theme for Royal Match, the skin for it, is under a sort of medieval kingdom. What made me play about 20 or so of the levels primarily in the first hours of the day, but then I did more. Occasionally when I was away from the laptop, was the fact that by beating levels you could earn stars. Stars you could then use to sort of refurbish the different areas that the game has. That's what did it for me, although I'm not highly interested in that game. If an app wasn't required, it would require me to either download something and do a whole bunch of editing, or the singing speech synthesizer came with music, a music track of sorts. At one point I downloaded the YTMP3 web app, which isn't really so much as a web app, it's more a program for your desktop, meaning it's on your computer but offline. But it's called a web app. Though I used the online version to download audio from YouTube videos, such as if I need to get the instrumental version of a song, like I had to for Daisy Bell, which is fine for me to use since it's old enough to be in the public domain. Though the first karaoke version of the song I downloaded by Zoom Karaoke, I got concerns that the audio itself might be copyrighted by Zoom Karaoke, so I removed it from the non-project raw video file. I would be using to create the audio to show someone singing while Dan Hamilton, Caesar's family, and Kyle the Uber driver were getting ready to leave Rick and Morty's family restaurant. It has nothing to do with Rick and Morty. I just spontaneously decided to call the family restaurant that. Maybe because I like how Rick and Morty sounds. So I then replaced that karaoke audio with a karaoke version by, if I recall correctly, it's something like a VXM Entertainment. They claim copyright to the karaoke, the fact that they're providing a karaoke service, the video itself, but not to the audio. I didn't see any information on that in the YouTube video description, and it sounded close to the original, which I also heard through a YouTube video, but it was played through a phonograph. So for obvious reasons, it didn't sound exactly like the original, but it had the melody down, unlike some other karaoke versions I found of that song. At various points through the rabbit hole that was created from me searching for that new, more copyright free, royalty free karaoke version of Daisy Bell for me to use, I found a video where Hal 9000 from A Space Odyssey 2001 singing it, then the Cocomelon version, but I barely watched it because they did an animation with it that I, for some reason, didn't feel like watching. Found an instrumental slowed and reverb version of Daisy Bell. And then I found someone who did a cover of it, basically just the chorus, which most karaoke versions do, just the Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. That chorus, that being the chorus and the part everyone's most familiar with, because it appears in a lot of TikTok shorts. And I don't have the app, but compilations of TikTok shorts have been uploaded to YouTube, which I do use and have the app for. Around 6:15 in the morning, I had an apple Danish that Dad bought from Wegmans, along with a cup of coffee. I had a few cups from then until about maybe 9 in the morning. And then around noon, I recall falling asleep, maybe at 12:30 the afternoon, and then I woke up around 4 p.m., which was when I had some goulash that Dad's mom made some days ago, but it can more accurately be described as, or at the very least, it used Shell's pasta. It came with some sprinkled cheese. I microwaved it for a minute and then 30 more seconds. I recall finding, while searching for a good text-to-speech voice to use for singing the karaoke version of Daisy Bell that I found. I found a third-party website called Melobytes, where they offered text-to-speech, singing text-to-speech voices where you can convert text into singing, although it typically came with a music track. And the speech synthesizer wasn't really that good. You could clearly tell it was a bot, and that it very much sounded like a bot. And it would randomly stop at times to allow the music track to play through. But I did get to play around with some other AI functions, which was fun to do. I also found Nuance Text-to-Speech, that website, as well as Kukarela, Kukarella. They offer some free text-to-speech voices, including the neural text-to-speech voice Henry C. by IBM. I've got the song I'm going to use for the karaoke scene at the first part of the first raw video file down, but I don't know what text-to-speech voice to use yet. But I do have, the karaoke, what particular karaoke version of Daisy Bell instrumental that I'm going to use.